Geez. I really love cleaning up here at the Nothing New podcast station.
Oh my God. That guy doesn't even know how to hold a microphone. What's he even doing in here?
Can my balls hear me?
Oh my God, he's asking the stupidest questions. I just want to hit him over the head with this recording device.
Maybe you should.
Oh no!
No! Oh man, it looks like he fell into a vat of radioactive podcast recording equipment.
Yeah, it's like he's made out of wires. He looks like Mr. Mike-tastic from last episode.
My goodness. I think I finally hit puberty. Now here I am as the toxic podcaster.
Oh wait, we already have a bunch of those actually.
Oh, that's fair. True. Touche. Zing, sir. Hello, welcome to the new Remake podcast. I am Justin Junko. And across the table from me is my co-host.
Hi, I'm Andrew Linde. Don't call me Bozo.
Oh my goodness, it is time to leave our standard American town and enter the Tromaville home of the Toxic Avenger. That's right, we'll be talking about the Toxic Avenger 1984.
And the Toxic Avenger Unrated 2025,
Sure.
2023?
Sure.
I don't know.
You want to find more ways to separate the two? Why
Yeah.
not?
But we couldn't do this alone. We had to bring back, this is a returning guest. You might remember from our Hellraiser episode. It's Lilith.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm so thrilled to be back. This was, Hellraiser was 22, right? Or was it 23? Yeah. So 22. So this was on the horizon, right? And I told y'all, like, hey, this has to be my next episode. If y'all want me to come back, I need to talk Toxie, because this is all me. Thanks so much.
No problem. And I like we said before we recorded, I love it when a guest does a show when we finish the recording and they're like, hey, this is coming up. Can I come back specifically for this one? So that's to me a great sign of A, you liked doing the episode with us, and B, you want to come back immediately and you already have your sights set on something, and that's always fun and exciting. Toxic Avenger 1984. Let's jump straight into it. So Lilith, let's start with you. When was the first time you've seen the movie or heard of the Troma world, cinematic universe, as the kids say nowadays? But what was your first exposure to Tromaville and Toxic Avenger?
So at some point in high school, I was gifted a book. I want to say it was called Cult Flicks and Trash Picks or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah. If y'all, I saw the book in like a secondhand store, like this year. And unfortunately, they were asking for like $80 for it.
Whoa, okay.
And I'm bummed that I don't have my old copy, but it was just a compendium of cult cinema. And obviously heavily featured was the Tromaverse. And through that, basically early college, I just had late high school, early college, I had a heavy Troma phase. The Toxic Avenger, obviously. Surf Nazis Must Die. If you haven't seen it, it's so good. Tromeo and Juliet, early work from James Gunn, who you may know from like Running Hollywood at this point. Which is kind of I do like, this is going to be a point that I'm going to be coming back to a lot. Troma kind of runs the world right now in a weird way. Like, Troma won. And it's kind of it's kind of crazy because like it feels I said this back when like James Gunn got the Guardians of the Galaxy gig, is like, oh yeah, right now it kind of feels like a band that I watched in a basement is playing the Super Bowl.
That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah.
Because like a decade and a half ago, I was, tracking down these crappy little files of these stupid little splatter movies and having an excellent time with them. All my friends hated coming over to my place because I always wanted to watch Troma movies. And now, now Peter Dinklage is starring in a remake of the Toxic Avenger. It's crazy. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome. I get that too because there's a because I that you nailing the garage band, basement band vibe. I'm like, no, that is exactly how I feel too because I grew up in high school getting into the movies. My buddy in high school was a huge Troma guy. But even then, before I got to see the Toxic Avenger, my first exposure to the Troma world was the 1990s cartoon show, The Toxic Crusaders.
Oh, yeah.
A show that was made in the boom of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and etc. So they were trying to capitalize on that. And, the thing that makes me laugh in hindsight is realizing you took the most gnarly R-rated cult movie and someone went, turn that into children's programming. And that was my first exposure to the concept of Troma and etc. But then as a kid, I remember like early morning I was watching like some sort of TV show that was aimed for like preteens or teens or whatever. They were talking about cult movies similar to your situation. And they mentioned, oh, hey, you should check out Toxic Avenger. And my brain's like, wait, what? Because I didn't know it was based off of a movie. I didn't know that.
Right.
So they showed like the trailer to Toxic Avenger, and my mind was like, wait, there's more? And I tried to rent it and immediately was shut down by my brother and went, no. You're not watching that. But I'm like, but the cartoon's the cartoon. This is absolutely
right.
You're 9. You're not watching this. But going to high school, and I have a very close friend of mine who's super into horror films, and he's like Troma obsessed. And he was like, oh, dude, we're renting that tonight. Like the first weekend I hung out with him. And then we did the summer of Toxie, where we rented every one that was available. So it was only 2 more at that point. But yes, I saw it when I was a teenager and immediately understood the world of Troma,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really the opposite here because I believe I'm 99% sure the only Troma film I've seen is The Toxic Avenger.
Okay.
Wow.
And
I really think I saw it years and years ago. And I guess it just didn't click, but I also feel like I'm having this, in the last, I don't know, 10 years, I've come around to horror movies in a way that I never did before. And there's something in the DNA of a Troma film where it's like it can be as gross or gruesome as a horror movie, but it's like everyone there is kind of having more fun.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I never could get into them before. But I can see myself getting into them now. I just haven't given them a chance in all these years. It's just really I don't know. It's something, and I know they're like legacy. Like I know about all these. Sergeant Kabuki Man is another one of those. I've heard that phrase so many times, and I'm like, that's insane. Why is that I've seen the cover. I'm like, what is this? But yes, I'm really coming into it not really knowing much about Troma, but I don't know, it's out there. It's definitely big.
Yeah.
Big with the cult crowd.
So let's jump straight into the first movie. Directed by Michael Hertz, and here's the thing: the credits say Samuel Wheel, but let's just cut to the chase. It's Lloyd. It's Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah.
Lloyd Kaufman was the wrote the story. He produced the film. He was even the DP of the first, co-DP'd the first film, which I didn't even know about.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I crack up when I saw like the name because I forgot that Lloyd went a different name for directing it. But when I found out it was Lloyd, who just gave himself a pseudonym, and I was like, "What? Why, Lloyd? You feel like you had too many jobs? Like, what is?"
Yeah.
You didn't want to take too much. What was it?
Well, that whenever you see like the credits where I recently watched a movie called War Chief, and it was one of those movies that looked just like there was one guy who wrote, directed, starred, and it's one of those where like when you hit that point in the credits and it's just like, oh yeah, you keep seeing the same name. Maybe Lloyd wanted to avoid a little bit of monotony in the credits sequence.
To which I would be like, maybe you should keep the director credit though. At least that's probably the one. You should,
right.
Like, look, you get Samuel Will could have been the DP. No one would have cared. But like, anyways, and what's fascinating about the first movie is that it's a movie that I say has a very clear message in its heart. It knows the topics it wants to attack, and clearly the environment, but also the current craze of the 80s craze of like the workouts and a little bit of bullying, but I feel like that's almost not really the hard message.
No.
But I don't know, is there anything else you feel like that maybe Lloyd wanted to get off his chest, Lilith?
The environmental stuff, there's a lot of like, the nuclear anxieties that I feel like were just kind of under the surface constantly, specifically like nuclear radiation, nuclear, whatever it is, which was also just all over Class of Nukem High. If y'all have ever seen that one.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean that's really it, but it's sorry, go ahead.
No. And the weird thing here is that also keeping in mind the other obvious, inspiration of the film is it's some form of slasher movie. You know, like clearly a more specifically Jason.
Yeah.
There's sometimes I look at the design of Toxie and I almost feel like Lloyd went, what if we took the Jason Voorhees at the end of part 1 and made him a big Frankenstein monster?
I'm gonna tell you, this is a big reason why I kind of love this look, this Toxie. Like I do. Yeah. I have really come around on Friday the 13th films and Jason, and he's my little son. He's messed up. Okay. He's something has happened to him and he keeps dying and going back to life. And then I look at Toxie and I'm like, yeah, that's him. That's his brother, I guess. I don't know. It's like they look this. It's like what if Jason went after, the people who really deserved it, that's, because he's just, I guess he's just killing because they get too close to his lake or whatever. But with Toxie, it's like he has this, they say it in the film a couple of times where it's like he has an innate sense of good and evil and he's trying to punish the people who do bad,
which gets brought to like these in the sequels. There's a lot of extremes that gets brought to, like that Toxie's like radar sense of good and evil. It's interesting. It's a real interesting kind of thing. The whole thing with the God, I don't want to skip ahead too far, but the thing with the dry cleaning.
Yeah, the dry cleaning.
The dry cleaning lady.
Which okay, I'll admit, like, it's been a while since I've seen this one. So when Toxie killed the lady, I'm like, what happened here? What happened here? Wait, what's going on? Like, and like, there's like, was it like the mayor of Tromaville? Like the big.
Yes, it's the mayor.
the mayor and then the police chief, who is, you know, like extremely German for some, you know, very much like Nazi coded. You know, informs the mayor that like, oh no, actually she was a white slaver, which is an interesting, you know, a product of its time, perhaps.
Sure. The idea that like yeah, they're gonna hate the fact that the monster killed a sweet little old lady. That's good. She's actually the opposite of that.
Right.
They even give Toxie a scene right after that, before we find out that she was evil, where he's like, "I've gone too far." He just he's like,
I am a monster.
He doesn't even know why he killed her.
Yeah. Before, of course, he becomes the monster. And funny enough, he's only referred to as the monster in the first movie. Like, so not even, we still refer to him as Toxie and say Toxie, but it's like he's actually not referred to as Toxie in the first movie. He's just referred to as the monsters, which again, I feel that's the Frankenstein influence of it all.
Well, and it also feels, again, a Friday the 13th influence, where it's he, you know, he's not the killer in the first one, and then he doesn't even get the hockey mask till the third one. It takes time for these characters to solidify.
They have to evolve.
We need 7 movies to get them right.
But before he becomes the monster, he is, of course, Melvin Ferd. The janitor at the health club, which there are so much scenes in the health club.
Oh my god. I think this is when I first saw this movie years and years ago. This is kind of what bothered me. I think maybe I was a little too you know, up my own ass with like movie. I'm like, oh, this isn't cinema. Because the first like 30 minutes is just these people bullying this guy.
Yeah.
And it feels so disconnected from what comes after. It's kind of not, but it feels that way. It definitely feels that way. But it also feels like this whole beginning sequence is kind of like, you know, in the style of Revenge of the Nerds and what's the other one? Porky's, you know, just,
it's mostly just these like jackass, like, you know, the group of bullies just kind of being mean to everybody, but specifically Melvin.
One bully's particular
in between, when they are doing serial killing with their car.
Let's also point that out. Like, they clearly deserve what's coming to them.
It was very much like, how do we know that they're evil? Well, they enjoy running people over with their car.
Specifically children.
Specifically children, and they have a whole point system that basically, like, the more marginalized you are, the better, the more they like it when they hit you with a car.
There's one bully named Slug that I kept, because I was watching the movie with a buddy, and I'm going, Slug is like looks like a Corey Feldman before Corey Feldman got to look like Slug. Like he's like Slug reminds me of how Corey Feldman looked like in The Lost Boys. You know? The irony of me saying that is exactly, and the irony is that, like, you know, Corey Feldman eventually shows up in a cameo in a later Toxie movie.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
Citizen Toxie, FYI. Here's the thing. This movie has no interest in making Melvin a character.
No. He's very much like the first pitch idea of like, what's a nerd? Oh yeah, he's cross-eyed and hunched over and can't speak to people. Yeah,
he's a bit of a creep too. Like he's oogling the people when they're having sex. That's not good. But like but you know, I guess he's our hero. And but yeah, the movie has no interest in like trying to like see Melvin be anything more than a cartoon like dweeb and nerd. And so when he like gets tortured and like gets you know, like bullied into wearing a tutu, sissy stuff. I don't know why that line like stuck in my head. And then gets comedically jumping out of a window. Then definitely also noticing that's not him. It's clearly a stunt. That he like falls into what happened, you know, a very, very perfectly strategically stopped like truck of toxic waste.
Well, not strategically stopped
That's
so that the drivers could do a massive, massive bag of cocaine.
just like they're like covered in sugar. It looks like.
Yeah. Look like they're making donuts,
Yeah,
but
100%. I also kind of like joked that like oh, this is the same toxic waste that turned the turtles into Ninja Turtles, and possibly the same toxic waste that blinded Matt Murdock to be Daredevil. So
yeah, all-purpose toxic waste.
All-purpose toxic waste. That's how you sell it. All-purpose toxic waste.
We're always hating on toxic waste, but it made all these heroes.
Look at this.
So
I don't know. Just don't see the problem.
But yeah, it's and then at this point the movie changes.
Yeah.
Yes, it changes quite radically.
It does. There is a style of 80s vigilante movies that this movie just evolves straight into, and like I feel like there's like you could like watch like a scene of a bunch of like hooligans from a Charlie Bronson Death Wish movie, and you see the guys here. It's like, there's not much of a difference. Maybe makeup.
Yeah.
Well, it also feels like, the naming convention stolen from like Dick Tracy. It's like, oh yeah, there's Cigar Face.
The cigar.
Yes. Oh my God. Cigar Face hit me on this watch. I don't know why, but I really enjoyed Cigar Face. I like that, he's a character. I mean, he's a fun guy. What else you need to be a person? But you're a guy who smokes cigars. Call yourself Cigar Face. Sure.
Actually, I'm super with you. I don't know why. Like the actor who played Cigar Face is Dan Snow, and I have no idea, but Dan Snow was really rocking it for me in this. He was really funny. He was really fun as Cigar Face.
I think a thing that I want to make sure we bring up. So Melvin Ferd is played by Mitch Cohen, but then once he transforms, right? He's voiced and played by totally different people. Like it just becomes Kenneth Kessler is the voice.
Yes.
Was it Mark
Torgel?
Torgel? Yeah.
Torgel.
It's truly like a whole thing of they also do we get to see Melvin start to transform. They do a lot of the gross effects of his skin is bubbling over, right?
Yeah. And real like good old fashioned like makeup goopy, bubbly, disgusting effects work. Yeah.
But I also feel like another fun thing that they do is once he's transformed, they really don't want to show you his face a bunch. So they have so many shots where it's like it's his back or he's so tall that you don't see his head.
Yeah.
He's like standing next to someone, usually his girlfriend, but he's standing next to someone and we never see his face. So I'm like, there's something so classic about that in the idea that it's like they didn't want to do all the makeup that day. Or they were like, we don't know what he's going to say, so we're just going to be able to ADR in anything we want here. And I just really appreciated that on this watch. I was like, that feels, I like that kind of DIY like problem solving in a film where they're like, we made this for $10. Please let us have our little tricks.
No, the joke, of course, like because like it was actually it's actually the other way around. It's Mark Togel as Melvin.
Oh, okay.
And Mitch Cohen is the body.
Okay.
Of Toxie. But when Kevin Kessler says talks as Toxie for the first time,
right?
Yeah, the joke is that he talks very eloquently and deep, and like when he's helping the officers, like, I'm so sorry, sir, I don't know what overcame of me. And like whereas like Mark was like, oh Julie, hello, like that's the kind of the contrast between Melvin and the monster version of Toxie. Let's talk also a bit about Sarah. his Lois Lane to the Superman, you know. Sarah's played by Andre Miranda, and I can't see if she ever did anything. None of the cast really did much after this movie. They're all pretty much just in Toxic Avenger. And Sarah, the joke of Sarah is that, and I hate to point out, yes, it is a bit of a joke that she's a blind woman who's in love with Melvin, who's in love with Toxie, the monster. Which also means the movie does a lot of low-hanging fruit blind jokes.
Oh my God, so many.
My God, they're so bad too. Oh.
Let's actually address the humor right now.
Yeah.
let's go ahead and talk about this.
Well, yeah, I brought up Porky's because I think it's on that level.
Apt.
Yeah.
It's apt.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not wrong.
Yeah.
I think Porky's.
Yeah.
Porky's, for those who don't know, was a very like gross out of the time 80s sex comedy that spawned at least 2 sequels that I can think of in my brain. And it was about like high schoolers screwing around, chasing after women, like very it's one of those that's like, ooh, like it's got a lot of that, very dated and not great humor. I even think, to the extent that there's some things that they do in Toxic Avenger that can be funny, but the way that they're doing them are so in your face, like disgusting in a way that it's like they don't allow it to be funny. They're just doing it because it's like, oh, isn't it gross that we did this or said this? And it's kind of not.
So I think this is an apt time for me to bring up kind of the circumstances in which I watched the Toxic Avenger most recently in preparation both for watching the remake and today and for like this. My girlfriend had never seen the Toxic Avenger. She's never been much of a Troma movie. She's not really a schlock person. On one of our first dates, I tried to show her Romeo and Juliet, and about 20 minutes in, she asked me like, "Hey, can we turn this off and just watch anything else, like anything else?" And and I told her that this was happening, and also that I needed to see the remake, and so I was like, can you just for me sit through the Toxic Avenger? And she did, and she hated it the entire time. And every time something like what we're talking about right now, these jokes that are just, I mean, you can say this about a lot of movies, but God, they couldn't make the Toxic Avenger today, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing that they couldn't make the Toxic Avenger today. You have to update those sensibilities, and the way that I likened it to her is that I was my college drinking buddy was in town, and I was introducing him to my girlfriend. I don't drink anymore. I've grown a lot in the last 15 years, but God, I still love the guy. We went through a lot together, and I'm always going to have time to hang out with Toxie, even if in the cold light of 2025, maybe Toxie's not the best hang anymore.
Oh,
his jokes kind of suck now.
Oh, wow! You nailed it in the head. That's perfect. Like, I was watching the movie with a friend too, and I almost felt like my job was to like prepare them. Yeah. And like, a lot of it was like me saying like, no. There's like the scene that where like he like there was a couple scenes where I was like, no, babe, you're gonna like this one. You don't have to like watch this one through your fingers in like shame. This one you'll like. I get it. You haven't liked a lot of scenes so far. No, going back to the humor, right? There's like the scene of going back to the scene of him killing the old lady. and Toxie does like this Asian joke, and me and my buddy are like,
Oh,
we both like
God.
verbally, we both went Toxie.
So bad.
It's so bad, and we're both like, Asian Americans, so it was that moment.
Uh-huh.
Oh. So you describing
Yeah.
it like that is like perfect because it's like, no, I love the dude. It's just he can say things that sounds racist, but I swear to God, he's a good guy. You know. I know. Look, I know. You know. Like, here's the other thing about the humor is that the humor to me is also like Lloyd and team understand that I think what they're doing is aiming for an audience. And
Yes.
the thing with Corman, like it's interesting that like when you think of like low budget filmmakers, you think of like, for a generation, you think of either Roger Corman or Lloyd Kaufman to some folks, right? And I think Corman's approach is I'm just making the cheapest shit possible as fast as I can. If I happen to hire a director who's good, that's by accident. And they end up making a good movie, good on us. If they don't, don't matter. People bought the tickets anyway.
Yeah. That money still folds.
Exactly. The money still folds. With Lloyd and Troma, I feel like their deal is we know we can attack a certain audience. And maybe they may not be allowed to buy our movies. But if they do see our movies, they're going to tell their buddies, they're going to tell their other friends, they're going to try to convince their friends. Like, this is probably one of the reasons like my close best friend from high school knew we're going to be tight, is that he showed me Troma, like Toxic Avenger, and I didn't go, why are we watching this? I went, can we get more? So I think that's who Troma and Lloyd Kaufman were aiming for, which I say smart on them. Good idea.
Right,
That's a smart move, because you create a cult audience, you keep them forever, even when they know that they're have to find ways to defend you.
Yeah, truly. Oh God.
I don't even know where else we can go with this.
Well, the mayor, they do a lot of this idea of, you know, like corruption.
Yeah,
the mayor's corrupt. He's the drug dealer in town, and when he finds out that the monster Toxie is the one taking down all of his stuff, he's like, well, we got to kill Toxie.
Yeah.
But the people love Toxie.
The people love the monster
because they had the rescue scene in the what was clearly a Del Taco or something.
Let me point out that food never looked worse than this movie.
Yeah.
Actually, the guy getting his hands deep fried looked more appetizing than the actual food that was featured on screen.
No, I never lost my appetite faster than watching the taco scene. And you're totally right, Lilith. Not even when the dude gets his face filled with ice cream to be then blended like a milkshake. The actual tacos they were serving, I wouldn't eat that with a 10-foot straw. Like, I would not want to go near that.
And when all the cops were there investigating, they're all eating. And
I was more grossed out by them eating the tacos
that was crazy.
Than the gnarly deaths of being shoved into a pizza oven. You know?
Yeah.
It's funny you say deaths. I feel like a lot of these people survived, because I thought Cigarface died and he came back.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. That's very true.
People
and
came
that guy
back.
He just got his hands fried. I don't know that kills you.
That's also true.
But yeah, the people recognize that Toxie is a good guy.
He's a hero.
Yeah. So they go and they form, like a little mob that allows them to stop the killing of Toxie.
Yeah. The National Guard, by the way. The mayor calls in the fucking National Guard, which is so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, how about that shit, right? You know?
I was gonna look, I didn't want to get into it, but this is really, it's weird how relevant. We'll get into it in the remake, but it was there are things that are like, oh, even when they were they didn't realize how relevant it could become. It was, it's scary stuff.
It's anyway.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, Toxie's a hero.
Toxie's
they save him. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, they take down the bad guys.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
Look, his mom got
they
over
take down
him.
the bad guys.
Yeah.
And then in one of the only scenes that my girlfriend did really, really like, Toxie just like rips open the mayor's stomach,
Right.
yanks his guts out of his chest.
Right.
No, he deserved it. Fuck that guy. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird movie. Clearly,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
there's no bones about that.
And like outsized cultural footprint. Like, I think it's it among those who know, everybody knows about the Toxic Avenger.
Yes.
Like it is truly a cult classic. And when you watch it, you're like I can see why on an iconography level, and also, obviously it's inspired a lot of spin-offs. I feel like the children's cartoon did a lot for it.
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
It's not great.
What? Let's rip this Band-Aid off. It's not a good movie.
No. And you're talking, I'm saying that before the remake came out. I have a Toxie mask in my closet.
Wow.
Like I'm dyed in the wool fan of the film.
Yeah.
But I can admit it's not a great film.
No, my thing is, like, almost every year during San Diego Comic-Con, Troma has the booth, and bless Lloyd Kaufman, he is almost always there. And
good for him.
And I've always did my best to try to go to the booth and speak to Lloyd Kaufman almost all the time. And the dude is always down to talk, clearly. But it's also, but it's always nice. He's always he's always like a dude that gets his fans, and like that's kind of the kind of guy I want to support. And he even said like some really nice things about me when I told him I was back when I graduated film school, and I told him like I was hoping to do this and this and that. And he actually got real with me and said like, hey, look, just keep being a good guy. Like you are. I can tell you're a good guy. Just keep being yourself. Keep working on it. You're going to get hired. People will hire a guy like you, okay? I'm an asshole. I get that. But people will hire a guy like you because I can tell you're a pretty good dude, okay? You call me Mr. Kaufman. You've always done that. I remember you every time you show up. So I just want you to know, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep making. And you're a good guy. You're going to get hired, okay? And what? Thanks. Like, I was not ready for that realness to come out of the dude who's been talking about Tromaville this and Troma here. I'm like, but no. I'm like, no, he was... I'm like, okay, no, like now I'm like, I look fondly at Lloyd, and I will still admit that Toxic Avenger is not a good movie, but I weirdly love it because, like you said, Lilith, like look, they were there.
I think I'm the same. Obviously I don't think I had a lot of love to start with it, but I think it's grown on me, much like a toxic tumor. And I think, I can see where they would want to remake it. I could see where they'd say, let's give it another shot. And so that's what we'll be talking about when we come right back. We'll be talking about the new Toxic Avenger.
Unrated.
To all who come to this happy podcast, welcome.
Animusings are your musings.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future.
Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Kayla.
And if it wasn't readily apparent from that, we're huge nerds about Disney. That's why we're doing the Animusings podcast.
Once a month, we'll sit down and talk about a film in detail from the Walt Disney Animation Studios filmography, covering them in chronological order, from Snow White to Moana and beyond.
To Moana and beyond!
Sweetie, we're not doing Pixar yet. We'll do that after.
And that's gonna be a long time coming. Anyway, if that sounds up your alley, come join Kayla and I, and maybe a guest or two, as we explore the Disney animated canon, film by film.
With the hope that it'll be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
Ooh, nicely said.
Don't thank me, thank Walt.
Well, while we're driving between Tromaville and St. Roma's Village, I'll talk a little bit about the Patreon. Patreon.com/nothingnew. You can join and for $1 a month get access to a whole bunch of bonus episodes. We release one that corresponds with each episode that comes out. And in fact, here's a little preview of this month's episode.
In this.
I also like, I forgot, I read about this once. There was this thing that I think it was Showtime did where specifically with Roger Corman.
Yes.
They had new, like this was in the 90s, but it was current filmmakers.
I remember this.
Do their versions of Roger Corman films based only on the title.
Yes.
They did not follow the script or the original story at all. They said, here's a title.
Yep.
Make your new version of this.
Yes.
And that's kind of what we just did
with this movie. No, I actually very distinctly remember this experiment because this was I think one of the only movie I can specifically remember them doing was Teenage Caveman.
Oh wow.
But, and this is where it gets controversial, the filmmaker they chose is Larry Charles.
Oh. Whoa.
Kids director.
Yeah.
Larry Charles. And you can get the full episode on our Patreon. Once again, only for a low price of $1. Also, if you want to control the show, tell us what to cover. For 1 month, if you pay $25, the show is yours. You can tell us what to cover. And we have done this several times. And I always say some great episodes have come out of this extra payment. You know, we've done King Kong, we've done Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we've done
the Muppets and Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Muppets and Mickey's Christmas Carol, Power Rangers. So we've gotten some really great episodes. And again, you just got paid the $25 one time. We'll go ahead and we'll do that episode. Before we go on back to, like, is it St. Roma's Village, right?
Yeah.
We're like about a mile away. Well, explain to folks where they could find you and the rest of your work.
Yeah, right now, really the only thing as far as, I have, you can find Ghost Puncher, which is kind of a defunct comic/actual play podcast. Upcoming RPG that will, I right now my job's kind of kicking my ass, so that's not really happening as much anymore. But we'll see. Keep your ear to the ground. And then Diet Coke and Lilith's House of Snacks, which I make with Diet Coke. My best friend. We talk about snacks. It's a podcast you can find probably wherever you're listening to this. It's oh yeah, right. I forget that we do have a custom URL. You can find that one in. Just go to analbuttsex.com.
Wait, so you secured wait a second.
I secured analbuttsex.com.
No way.
That goes, you can type it into a browser right now, and that will go straight to the noisepace.xyz page for Diet Coke and Lilith's House of
Justin
Snacks.
is typing it into his phone right now. I can see him doing it.
This better not ruin my search history.
Truly astounding. I hope if you ever give that up, I hope they pay you a lot for it. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I need you to know that is one of the most brilliant things I've ever heard anyone do. Because correct, that takes you directly to Noisepace.
Yeah, this is not a joke.
This is not a joke.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's a whole actual story behind that you could hear on some episode of Diet Coke and Lilith's House of Snacks. That was basically just me saying those words, and then we bought a URL live on air, as sometimes happens on a podcast.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. And please check out their work at analbuttsex.com. I love how you just dropped it like that, and me and Andrew went, wait a minute. That's
Oh, yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. I am so happy for y'all. That's great. That's so great. All right.
All right, on that note,
I feel it's still very trauma-y.
yeah,
though.
very trauma-y.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh man. On that note, we're here at St. Roma's village, and someone messed out the sign, so now it looks like this is also Tromaville. Now,
Yeah.
This is the Toxic Avenger unrated. Originally set to be released for 2023, but due to some wild legal rigmarole, the movie almost looked like it may never get a release until I believe Cineverse picked it up, and these are the folks who have released the Terraform. No, not Terraformer.
Terrifier?
Terrifier.
Oh,
films.
okay.
Terraformer's that
Yes,
different.
Terrifier.
Terraformer's a different Troma movie.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, the Terrifier films, and it looks like they felt like they would be confident and maybe we can make this work releasing it.
Right.
And here we are. This is now a movie that has been in development for many, many years. There have been different filmmakers. There have been different directors. I even remember at one point the Hot Tub Time Machine director was going to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember at one point the director of the animated Sausage Party movie was set to direct it. There was all these folks. None of it ever worked out. And then finally, it landed on Macon Blair to direct this film. Macon Blair, at this point, actor, but also known for writing and producing. I think. Hold on, I'm trying to see what else he's done. He did. Did he write? I'm blanking out right now. No. He was the he was the lead in Blue Ruin, but he wasn't.
No. Yeah, he was in Blue Room and Green Room.
Yeah.
And then it looks like he wrote and directed I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore.
That's right.
Yes.
And then he wrote something called Small Crimes that was starred Nicolaj Coster-Waldau.
Yeah.
That seems like one of the bigger ones. But I hadn't heard of this guy. Not really on my radar. But
yeah, I didn't see I Don't Feel it at Home in This World Anymore, but it does cheer an actor with the Toxic Avenger remake.
That's
right,
true.
Elijah Wood.
That's right.
Yes.
And that's the thing about this film is that the cast is kind of insane.
The cast is incredible. There's so many names in it.
Yeah.
That you would never like. Elijah Wood actually makes sense. Kevin Bacon, there is kind of a there's a circuitous Troma connection already there with Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon was incredible in James Gunn's Super.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which again, James Gunn got his start with Troma.
Is Super I had forgotten about Super. Is that where we really kicked off Kevin Bacon as the villain? Like he's been playing villains pretty consistently over the last 15 or so years, and I feel like that might have
it was like super into X-Men First Class,
right?
Yeah, that
and
sounds
then
right.
we just got Yeah.
I think you're right. That might have kickstarted the Kevin Bacon as a heavy for movies for a while.
Yeah.
I gotta say, so obviously, when they announced they're remaking it and they got Macon Blair to direct it, I'm like, okay, sure, that sounds fine. I felt like there was a statement of intent the moment I found out who was playing Toxie. And when I found out that the name was going to be Peter Dinklage, my brain went, I beg your pardon, what?
A moment of but then I was also like, oh, okay, so they're actually putting like resources behind this. They are that's a decision.
Yeah.
That's a decision to make. And I think that speaks to, I think, everything that this remake has behind it, which is that and again, the way that my girlfriend, who I think had some pretty smart things to say about both movies. This one feels like a real movie in the way that the Toxic Avenger does not.
It's one of the things, like, I got to see this movie early at San Diego Comic-Con. So
Okay, really?
it was a really
awesome.
cool, it was a very lucky situation. A buddy of mine got me in, funny enough, my friend who got me into Troma, tickets for some of the screening, and we got to see Elijah Wood in our he showed up and said hi to us and etc. But it was the right audience to watch the movie because it was all clearly just Troma folks.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing that we walked out of the theater saying, is that it's not, it feels like it does the Troma-y things.
Yes.
But as your girlfriend said, feels like a movie.
Yeah.
It's actually a movie. There's attempts at character work. There's attempts at growth. There's attempts at a story that Lloyd, bless their heart, Lloyd and Michael Hurst was not interested in.
Right. And enough like, nods to all of the Troma stuff, enough in jokes that absolutely like there were so many moments where I was in the theater with my girlfriend who's not a Troma person, and I would be cackling and I would look over at her and she's just happy I'm having a good time. In the transformation sequence when they play the same musical sting, that from the transformation sequence of the original movie, I was immediately just like, yes, thank you, I needed this.
That is such, things like that is really neat because it does show that Macon Blair also liked those movies. So it's not like no, it's like clearly with the casting of Dinklage, their biggest decision is we're not going to do Melvin's story. I think as they said, you already got Melvin's story. You know Melvin's story. Let's figure out a new story. And so the new story here is a dad trying to connect with his son. And having Dinklage is an interesting casting choice because then I remember when he got cast, I was like, okay, that's going to be interesting. So then I guess we have to address, Dinklage's height. And so so what happens here? What do we do with this? And the answer is, oh no, the Tox is going to be that tall too.
Which is awesome. I thought that was great. I thought, little Toxie, awesome.
Amazing.
Great. And a lot of fun.
And much like the original film, Toxie is played by somebody else.
Right.
But Peter keeps the voice. So in the Toxie makeup work and suit is a performer named Luisa Guerrero. And she's the one doing all of once it's Toxie on screen, it's not even Peter anymore. Peter's doing the voice.
Interesting.
But it's Louisa. So it's an interesting way to kind of keep that separation, much like the original film. But how she got prepared for the role is that Dinklage and her, Peter and her kind of did the whole movie. So he did all of it as like a rehearsal stage, and he filmed it. And so he basically did the whole movie if he was going to be there on set. So then she studied Peter's footage. And then Peter then redubbed her performance. But she was essentially going, I was acting like Peter.
that makes a lot of sense because it still felt like Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
And they did a good job on the makeup, kind of making it look like a mutated Peter Dinklage. And then of course, obviously the dub then made it sound like Peter Dinklage again. So I hadn't looked into a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. A lot of this is very interesting to me because as I was watching it, the two things I was thinking was surely Peter Dinklage didn't wear all that. He's bless him. He's done a lot of great work. He's a little too important to be wearing 13 pounds of rubber for 8-hour shooting days.
Right. And they filmed in Bulgaria apparently, which Peter said it's not the coolest of countries to film that movie.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
So it's here's the thing, one of the things, because to be honest, I actually haven't seen the movie since I saw it during Comic-Con. So I am going a little bit off. I try to watch it before again. So.
I do want to point out there's these interesting, Lilith, he brought up all the references to other Troma works, which was funny because I would, even as a non-Troma person, I was like, oh yeah, there's like Nukem High. Like I was like getting what was going on. But then there's also these interesting kind of remixes of what the characters are, at least when you look at the names. Because Melvin Ferd exists in this film.
I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Yes. He's the journalist from the very beginning.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very. And it's like, I don't think they're trying to say this is what Melvin would be, but it's like they're saying, yes, Melvin's in this movie, just not as someone that you'd expect at all. Same thing with, at a certain point, they reveal that Kevin Bacon's nickname is Bozo.
Yes.
Or was Bozo, which is the name of the bully from the original. So it's like, this is, it's things that are like kind of echoing or something. It's not even
the great George Lucas would say, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Right. Which is so funny because I did see.
It's like poetry.
I did see that Peter Dinklage did say the classic. We see it all the time. He said, it's not a remake.
Yes.
Which I'm like, come on. Like, can we stop doing this?
Just accept it.
Accept that you're in a remake.
Yeah.
It's called the same thing. It's got the same guy. It's a remake.
Actually, just today, sorry if you've heard any audience, my bad. But if today, like the Toxic Avenger account actually pointed out some Easter eggs that even some of them I didn't catch. So yes, you guys pointed out. The reporter's name is Melvin's original name. Obviously, the tutu, which to me is like, has to be there. I actually missed the Nukem High reference. But the other one is that, and it becomes fairly important in the film, is the radioactive piss.
Yes. I had watched these films, actually, the new one before the old one. And so seeing the radioactive piss in the new one, I went, well, that's quite a choice. And then I watched the old one and I go, it's there. It's been there the whole time.
Also,
because
go ahead.
It actually like in the old one, it's just kind of like a thing that happens, whereas in the new one, like it's very much, again, kind of speaking to, this is a real movie. They set it up as like, oh look, he pissed on a chimney and it like melted through it, and then they paid it off with, he broke out of his restraints by pissing on his own neck.
It is. I have to say it. That might be my top 4 favorite Peter Dinklage deliveries in any film I've ever seen.
God.
Peter's.
That scene is so fucking. I was howling that whole scene.
Oh my god! And I just
so good.
I want to point out, I really love Dinklage's performance in the movie.
Oh yeah, he's so good.
He's good, and I feel like it's funny. I was a big fan. Again, like, just keep coming back to Gunn in this conversation. I was a big fan of Superman 2025. And one of the things I liked about Superman 2025 is how, sincere and old-fashioned Superman was, right? And so the thing I like about Dinklage's performance is sometimes Peter can get really into like being an over-the-top character. Sometimes he can, or his other deals being kind of like a major like, competent character, But I like that he's a very like sincerely trying his best to be a good dad to a kid that he knows that the life wasn't fair to them both.
Yes.
And I thought
absolutely,
like, even the bit where he's trying to like salvage the toast is like I thought was actually says a lot about the kind of character that he's doing. And I really was like touched by like, oh, I've never seen Peter try to do a character like this, but this is actually nice, and it's a nice change of pace. So when he becomes Toxie, it's like, oh, cool, that guy's now a superhero, and he's like throwing his radioactive mop and ripping people's arms off, but he still loves his son.
Yeah. Oh my god, the fucking kind of speaking to that. I know we're jumping around, but
that's right.
At the very end, when they have the classic beat of like, Dad, don't kill him, you're not that kind of person, and then just like some of the most stomach churning violence you've ever seen in your life happen. The man is ripped but just like the car engine is basically just used as a human blender in front of this kid. It's so good. It's so good.
One of the things I will say too about like the villains, right? Like it is in the style of the original film. It's one of the things that like that Lloyd and them came up with is like with these cartoony bad guys we've talked about, but some of them like to do these like cartoony looks, like put like makeup on and etc. And so like the Nuts, the band,
the Killer Nuts,
Killer Nuts, like
the Killer Nuts are so good,
but they're 100% in the style of a Toxic Avenger villain group, and it's kind of neat that they found a way to justify the aesthetic. It's like, oh, what if they're like a band? You know?
Yeah. And Elijah Wood doing his best Danny DeVito's Penguin is their manager.
I did kind of feel I was like, why does Elijah Wood look like that? What?
Yeah, right.
Like, as far as I could tell, that was like a choice from the beginning. Like the director had drawn that and was like, that's what I want it to look like. Like that's what I want that character to look like.
He looks like Riff Raff, right? From Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Riff Raff.
That's also a great visual kind of takeoff of what his character is. Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
He's the band manager, but that also means that he has to direct them for killing. And so there's several scenes where like he holds up like a Wanted style poster of Taylor Page's character and he's like, get her. Like, what are you doing shooting another guy? You're supposed to get her. And just it feels like it's kind of from a different movie, but I'm a little into it, but it's just like, what? Like, where is this coming from?
Jacob Tremblay plays Winston's son Wade, and it's obviously I remember him from Room being absolutely amazing in Room, not The Room. To some of you folks who were gonna make that joke, I can hear you. Not that one, okay? And no, I thought he did a pretty solid job. I like Taylor Page as as the whistleblower character.
I wish he had more to do.
Very good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, oh, I thought she would, and I think I had a thought at a certain point where I was like, why does she not have a gun? Like, so many characters are shooting at her. Just get some kind of, or a defensive weapon, anything.
Or like when Toxie healed her with his blood, I thought maybe she would get cool Toxie powers.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
No.
Like she's just kind of.
Yeah, I agree. Who was that one guy that was in the woods with Toxie?
Yeah, what was his?
Oh yeah,
he
was just like a crazy guy who lived in the woods who told Toxie he was a doctor, and then just kind of, I don't know.
That was. It was one of the great like kind of like swerves, because you think, oh, this guy's gonna be like a kind of a bizarre mentor-y weird. It's like no, just a crazy person,
just a weird guy.
Just a weird dude. Sorry.
As we are the experts of remakes, this is one of those characters where if I didn't know anything else, I would have sworn I was like, well, that guy must be from the original. Like that feels like that kind of. Like, we need to put in one original actor and make them the fake mentor. Mm-hmm. But no, he's not. Right. He's just another guy.
Just a guy.
Just a dude.
Yeah.
Just, probably drinks his own piss. I mean, that's... So I do have the other... one of the things I remember when I was talking about the movie with some friends, I also found a couple of my old coworkers actually seen this movie actually a couple years ago in the initial cut. So one of the things I remember them asking me about was like, hey, so in the penis, in the pissing himself scene, I'm like, yeah, we saw a black bar.
Oh.
Oh,
And I'm like,
interesting.
I'm like, right? I was like, oh, so you saw the current cut? Yeah, I saw the current cut. What did you see? Oh, I saw everything.
Yeah. I saw one of the most grotesque dicks I've ever seen in film.
Yeah.
Outside
And I saw
of,
Boogie
I would
Nights.
actually say there's a deeply grotesque dick in Tromeo and Juliet. If
True.
you haven't seen it, oh my god.
True, 100%. And yet, Toxie's in this movie. One of the yes. So I told him, like, yeah, get ready, guys. You're gonna see some.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
But there's some other scenes that they take from the original. The fast food standoff.
Yes.
Yes.
Follows a lot of the same beats of the original, even to the point of having a character in that scene who is blind, who does not become Toxie's girlfriend, but then is important later in the film. Just little interesting things like that, where it's, it's echoing.
No.
Go ahead. No, Lil, go ahead.
So something I again, the echoing there is really great. That actually reminds me, because that the fast food scene was probably the hardest that my girlfriend and I laughed during the whole movie, because first of all, the burger place was like Mr. Burger or something,
right.
and
Yes.
then it's been transitioned, and then like the guys who are like the terrorists who are taking over the burger place are like fucking like men's rights activists who are have this whole like screed about how like they've estrogenated our burgers and stuff.
Right.
And oh my god, it was the perfect example of like Troma sensibilities with updated like something that feels like 2023, 2025, like actual like humor that kind of cuts to the core of the moment that we're in, which I feel like, maybe there was like, I didn't see Toxic Avenger in 84. I wouldn't be alive for another 7 years. And so maybe the Toxic Avenger felt a little bit more like that back then. And so I don't know. That scene really hit really hard for me. It was really fun. I don't know. I loved that whole thing.
I actually, because like I completely blanked. Yes, there is a blind woman in the fast food scene, and I'm actually kind of watching again like the clip. This is like from the Toxic Avenger actual account, but they bring up the comparison of the two scenes, and it's like, oh, there is some intentional decisions in terms of how to do this thing. One of it is like the blind woman's black, and the man who was threatening Sarah in the original film was black. So they made the swap of almost giving his costume to a white guy in the new movie to assault and anger the woman who's blind in that movie in the new film. And so I find like, oh, that is an intentional choice to go like, yes, we're in discussion. God, I can't believe I'm going to use this example, and I think you even know where I'm going with this, Andrew. I see your face. You're nodding at me about this, and I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah.
Much like in our episode of True Grit.
Yeah.
This remake is, in fact, also is having a conversation with the original movie without really, like, being like, oh, we're doing the same scenes. Like, you are, but you're also intentionally flipping things to make new points for the 2020s. And that's kind of interesting. Again, that's where it's... Sorry, Lloyd. It's a real movie.
I do think, I mean... but aesthetically, though, they really did do this in a kind of a cheaper looking way.
Sure.
Like, I think there is like a choice that they make where certain scenes are not that they're lit badly, but it is certainly like, okay, this kind of looks like it was made for TV or something.
Well, the thing
Yeah,
there's a little bit of that. I'm not disagreeing with that. And I feel like I'm not sure how intentional that is, but there was a part of me that when I saw the teaser couple years ago, and the teaser is mostly made up of the fast food scene. That I remember going, okay, how's this movie gonna look? It's got millions, not a lot of millions, but at least several millions more than the original film. So it's gonna look a little better and a little cleaner. And then when I saw the teaser, and it's mostly of this fast food scene, I went, that still looks like a Troma movie. Like, I can see it's a little bit bigger budgeted, but also it's not trying to be cooler. It's not trying to look sleeker. It's just like, oh, it's a Troma-y scene, but it still looks like a Troma movie, but you know, the bloodletting would be a little more elaborate. You know? And that's when I realized like that's what they're going for. They're going for like, no, it's a Troma movie. Still Troma. We're not gonna pretend anything otherwise, but we have a little more money, so audio will be better.
I think they're also like playing on the idea of more of a superhero movie rather than, Justin, you brought it up. Like the original was almost playing on like a death wish, where it's like, you know, what if there was a super powered guy just avenging people?
Death wish by way of Friday the 13th.
Yeah, and this one's more like, well, you know, what if what if Captain America was like messed up looking? It's like, yeah, it's taking on like all the current sensibilities in ways that I think play very well.
Yeah. I know. No, it's fun. I will say this as a guy who's a big Troma fan growing up too. Like, one of the nice things about being at Comic-Con this year, because this goes right back to going further, Lilith, to your analogy about like it being like a basement band that's starting to look like it's getting more notoriety. It was wild to be at Comic-Con, sit in Hall H for a Toxic Avenger panel.
Yeah.
With like Academy Award nominated actors on stage and being promoted. And there's Lloyd in the panel. If seeing other Troma people get notoriety is like seeing like, oh, everyone's buying those albums now vibe, this is me realizing I'm watching that underground band play at like the like Madison Square Garden or something.
Right.
No. Like, or the Forum or SoFi if you're an LA person. Like, it's just like this is weird, but also kind of cool.
Huge now.
It's huge now.
Yeah.
Seeing Lloyd in Hall H, where they would promote the next Marvel and DC thing, and there he is in it was a packed house. And I'm like, this is strange, but kind of cool. So good on you guys, you know?
I you know, and yet I didn't like it as much as the first one, I have to say.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I think the first one had some kind of like charm in how it was made, with the idea of like, we're just gonna make a movie, and this new one kind of over mythologizes everything in a weird way. I think I kind of also, one big one for me is the mop. When he like makes the toxic mop in the new one, I'm kind of like, well, in the old one he just had a mop. Like it was just, he just liked using mops as a weapon. And in the new one it's kind of like, oh, this is his like spear of destiny. You know, it was kind of like a little too much importance was put on it. I think there was a couple of things in this new version that did that, and I was like, you could just let it be. Just let it be what it is. We don't have to overdo it.
Weirdly, I was not like more okay with that. Also, I kind of felt that was another homage, because as I said, like my introduction to Troma was the Toxic Crusader, and his mop was powered. Like,
interesting. Yeah,
he had a powered. His mop was like also radioactive and can do cartoony things, like it could stretch and etc. So seeing the mop in this movie is kind of, and also the director has admitted he also watched that cartoon when he was younger, so he wanted to throw in some reference to that. So for me, that was just, I can see what you're saying, and I completely get that. There is this, going back to the original film, there is this sort of like, look, at the end of the day, it's a weird, mostly bad movie, but man, did that movie know what it wanted to do. And you gotta respect that they pulled it off. They did it. They made it. With every scrap they could, they did that strange movie. And they released it. And now you can buy it in 4K because it's considered to be a cult classic.
Yeah.
That
True.
I get that, and I can even understand you saying that's a better movie in regards to this one, which is a more thought out movie. But as a person, for me, as someone who loved growing up with the Toxic Avenger stuff, for me, it's like I'm like, oh, like this is just another add-on to the lore and to the concept of Toxic Avenger. So for me, I liked it for what it is, and it's a different movie. I'll take that, and it's I'm not expecting it to have that sort of charm as the original. And yet I think it feels like a way to kind of remind people about Troma. You know, I think there is a little worry I have, like every time I go to the booths at the convention every year, that booth gets a slightly bit smaller, and I always get a little worried about them because they also haven't made a film in a while. And if this movie can remind people to give Troma a look, and look, I'm not even saying you're gonna like everything, or anything, but if you want to give your eyes to them, they probably are. They do deserve a little bit of your attention because who knows? Maybe that is your vibe. I don't know. Lilith?
Yeah, I have to say, I like the new movie more than I like the old movie, but also, like, there's a bit of novelty there. I have seen the original Toxic Avenger dozens of times, and there are, like I said, the good parts still hit, but the kind of the chafe points have only gotten worse with time. And so the new stuff is really, it feels like a tribute to the old Troma, and but while keeping it fresh, and so I had a great time with it. I overall, and my girlfriend loved it, was cackling the whole time, really like, and that was kind of the thing that like really turned me like all the way around. I fully. This is one that you can watch with the uninitiated, and they're still going to have, they're still going to have a good time, as opposed to the old one. You have to do a lot of explaining. There's not a bunch of jokes that you have to say, well, it was the 80s and everybody was on coke and kind of sucked back then.
I almost like in a weird way kind of taking your story, because you're talking about like having friends come over and they're annoyed with you about like, oh, like, do we really gotta watch these? This is when you kind of come full circle that you can be like, this one, you can watch this one.
And like it's still got the jagged edges. It's still weird. It's still it's still all of the things that you want Troma to be, but it is not quite as it's not as cringy, honestly. Like, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yes, true.
Well, I think, it was guaranteed that as long as, Lloyd Kaufman and Troma had some involvement in this remake, that it would not be nothing new.
Please rate and review Nothing New, a Remake podcast on your podcast app.
You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at NothingNewPod.
You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/nothingnnew.
Nothing New, a Remake podcast, is part of the Benview Network.